Okay, here we go. The Lorax Part 2. Okay, so this is where we left off yesterday here. He has his own, the Onceler has his own factory, and they're starting to make truffula trees. We can see the Lorax watching what's going on with a very concerned look on his face. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffula trees. Look, you can see what he's using to cut the trees now. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffula trees at one smacker. We were making thneeds 4 times as fast as before. And that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week, he knocked on my new office door. He snapped.
I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots, who played in the shade with their barbaloot suits, and happily lived eating truffle fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffle fruit to go round, and my poor barbaloots are getting the crummies. And because they have gas and no food in their tummies.
All right, and there's the brown barbaloots. They're not happy.
They loved being here. I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys,
He cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies in tummies, you know. There goes the brown barbaloots. Goodbye, brown barbaloots. You have to find somewhere else to find their fruit. I meant no harm, I most truly did not. But I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory. I biggered my roads. I biggered my wagons. I biggered the loads of the thneeds I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more thneeds, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Okay, there's a view of his factory. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes.
I am the Lorax.
He coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled. He snargled. He sniffed.
Onceler!
He cried with a crupulous croak.
Onceler! You're making such a smog it will smoke. My poor swami swans, why they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in their throat.
Okay. Things are starting to not look so great. Like, this story might not have a happy ending. This is kind of, I'm feeling a little down, like there should be like a little funeral march for this forest here. Okay, go ahead, Ski.
And so,
Said the Lorax.
please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. will have to fly around for a month or a year to escape from the smog you've smogged up around here.
Okay, so there goes all the birds finding some place without so much smog.
What's more,
Snapped the Lorax. His dander was up.
let me say a few words about Gluppity Glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making Gluppity Glup. Also schloppity schlop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old Onceler man, you.
Okay, that's the schloppity schlop right there in the picture.
You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are gummed. So I'm sending them off, their future's dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary, in search of some water that isn't so smeary.
Okay, so the swamp is empty now, and the fish are off trying to find somewhere else to go. And there's the Lorax looking at the Onceler. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax. Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap yap and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering. Turning more truffula trees into thneeds, which everyone needs. What do you think's gonna happen next? And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall. The very last truffula tree of them all. No more truffula trees. No more trees, no more thneeds. No more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts and everyone all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggered stars. Now all that was left, 'neath the bad-smelling sky, was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. Oh, there's the Lorax. I'm sorry, my thumb was over the Lorax. There he is. So, now nobody's happy. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance. Just gave me a very sad backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. So there goes the Lorax through a hole in the smog. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with the one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long ago. But each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. Okay, Look at it. Things aren't looking quite so good as they did when he first got there, are they? But now,
says the Onceler.
now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So, catch.
Calls the Onceler. He lets something fall.
It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds. And truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. Okay. Alright, and my phone is telling me it's time to be done too. Alright, hope you liked it.